1, 2. Check 1, 2. That's weird. Not gonna lie. All right. Now we have the microphone back. I didn't change anything, but I unplugged it and plugged it back in. So definitely something jinky with it. Hopefully it's all right. But, okay, let's get into it now that we've done a bunch of stuff. I got the chat. Do I have it on multi-stream chat? Nope, we're just on Twitch. Let's do the whole thing. There we go. All right, so there's pull up. Right now, it's between going from Hollow Knight to Silksong or from Hollow Knight into something else. Because a lot of people that are playing through Silksong, I hear, are just not having a great time. Not just a guy that's on here all the time. You'll see him on here as Josh. But that guy is Black Wolf Gaming. Feel free to check him out. Jirapat, LM Sprat, Cert. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I butchered your name. Jirapat, LM Pratt Cert. What a name. Yeah. Thank you for the sub. Really appreciate it. Should have notified me. Maybe it did, and I was too busy trying to fix my mic. All right. There we go. So, right now, the debunk. After that, we're going to do some Hollow Knight. If I do beat that, right now, I have a pull-up on YouTube. So be sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing, all that on YouTube. The poll, and I could probably run a poll here, too. Let me see if I can pull up the dashboard. Home. Oh, geez. I've doxed myself. End stream. I'm out. No more glowing card. We're done. Let me do this. I'm gonna pull up the home screen here, the dashboard, and we're gonna get a pull up here for what to play next. Poll me. Where are you? Polls. Polls. There we are. Add poll. Next game. No. How about this? What should I play next? Options. Hollow Knight, Silksong, and then the second one is Arc Raiders. Vote. What? There we go. Other. Comment below. There we go. Vote 3. I can't put a space. All right. Add it. Confirm. Polls up. Should have probably, you know what? I should probably advanced. Duration. I think that's 8 hours. There we go. polls up. I do have one vote for ARC Raiders already on YouTube. There is a poll up on there as well. I will check it, add all the votes together, and we'll figure out what the next game is. But I'm probably going to say ARC Raiders. I'm going to download and play that. Looks fun. So we'll try it, see what happens. That will probably be next. But as you've seen, we're going to do debunking now, and then later Hollow Knight. Let's get to it. This is Mod Tricka, so be sure to like, share, subscribe. And I should do the same. Like, share, subscribe, all of that stuff.
The incredible tale of a most unusual character. Rated PG-13. Select engagements start December 7th. Opens December 14th everywhere.
Yes, sir. Mod Tricka. Back up in this thing, man. Today, we'll be continuing on Oktoberfest with some of the most
One thing,
mysterious
really
videos.
quick. Here, let's get into it. So, that's gross. Before I get really into this, if you haven't seen Edward Scissorhands, which is the preview he was showing there, go watch that. I am so out of sorts. I've been trying to stream since 1 o'clock. It is now 3:30. So, some background information on some of that is just I have chores and stuff that I'm trying to get through and done today, which I did some of that. The other thing is a neighbor of mine, I think I can say this without giving anything away. He had a bike stolen out of the back of his car, and he noticed I had cameras on my house. I hadn't really met. I'm not big on meeting neighbors and interacting and all that. Excuse me. But this is one of those times. I thought, yeah, I'll help this guy out. And so in the camera system, I can get like a 5-minute clip, 90-second, 30-second. There are different options. But it was kind of being funky on the app. And so I rebooted my phone and tried again and tried the 5-minute. It still wasn't working. I was like, let me try the 90-second. Then they both came up simultaneously. And I was able to send him, I think it was the 5-minute clip. So then I went over to make sure he knew, hey, I tried to send a 5-minute version. You should have the whole incident. It has his car. If the light, he has a light on the plate. So this was early morning. It's dark out. I have night vision. The light shining onto the plate is so bright you can't see anything. But as it's driving back and forth towards the edge of the screen, I think that's your best bet with some software. You could probably soften that lighting up. You might be able to get the plate. Plus, it has a great shot of the individual. So all of that. So I spent about an hour trying to do that. So that was a majority of the time. But then I had to go out and drive around and get some stuff for the cats, and they always try to get down here, but today they didn't try. So I'm wondering if they gave up, and that makes me sad because they just accepted that they're not coming down here with me. I don't know. I don't think they'll ever truly give up, but anyway, it's gross staring at this blue thing. Let's get it. Did she put some food coloring in that herself? Where is it? Where's that from?
I have no idea what this blue stuff is, but I would throw the whole 2-piece away, because if you eat this, you might actually shapeshift into Colonel Sanders.
So we all just got woken up to some disturbing sound all through the whole area. I just called 911, and they said they've gotten like over 50 calls about it.
It's rhythmic, so it's almost like a machine or something pounding something out. At first I thought it might be gunshots, but this sounds like a machine or something pounding away or digging away somewhere around in the area. So somebody might be conducting some mining experiments or digging underneath. It also does kind of sound like a dragon trying to cough up a lung.
It's most likely a tunnel boring machine or some sort of construction equipment, but it sounds like Godzilla, so I could be wrong.
They did research for a movie, and they were using actual spells to do it, and everyone got sick with some disease they hadn't seen in thousands of years. Vampire Diaries, too. They had witches from Salem actually say you don't know what you're dabbling with, because apparently they were pulling, like, actual curses and using them in the filming of that.
I mean, you think about it, like how the government used witches and occult stuff in their own psyop experiments and, you know, everything like that. So it's like Pentagon has their own thing for cinema and for film.
I always have a warning on some of these, well, not all these videos, but some of them, like especially the paranormal ones or ones that actually have magic. Magic is real. It's biblical. It says we should not deal with it. We should not dabble in it or touch it in any way. And a lot of these people I don't think understand. And they put it in the film, so they're trying to affect the public. If this is true, whether it's true or not, sounds like it might be. But Ninjas or Butterflies is a great little podcast. If you haven't caught it, watch it.
Like, who knows, man? It's weird. It's strange. It just makes you want to become a monk. They list out everything that they lived with, and it's like, maybe that is a little bit of how we're supposed to be living.
I know.
Very minimalistly.
Think about music, too, though. The psalms are supposed to be, like, actual penned notes, so you can take the psalms and actually, like, play the music that was the melody that was intended to be played. But if that's true, then that would imply that music, sometimes when we hear something, like, think about that opening hook. I'm just using Harry Potter because we're talking about it, but, you know, dun, 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 you know, like that opening thing, why does that make us feel mysterious and odd? It's like, if they are dabbling in things, could the unsettling be actual auditory? Maybe it's not an actual spell, but it puts you in a place to be susceptible to something.
It doesn't matter if you film in a movie or not. Once you start doing actual spells and you get actually cursed, it's hard for me to feel bad for you.
That's true. What? I will say there is I think there's one day out of the year where, like, the way the Earth rotates back and forth on its axis, going to and from the sun, as it's going around, there's one day where you can balance an egg on its edge. This might be that day. And the balloon was able to do this actually a lot easier than normal because of the position of the sun and the Earth.
I would barely be able to balance a broom upright like this if I tried intentionally. She need a full ride scholarship to Hogwarts.
Major breaking news in the Three-Eye Atlas case. NASA has, for the first time ever, activated planetary defense systems. NASA's Planetary Defense Network has just added Three-Eye Atlas, a Manhattan-sized interstellar object, to its list of potential threats. Scientists say it's emitting an alloy not found in nature, defying all known comet behavior and emitting a light. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb says it could even be alien technology, probably a probe using the sun's gravity to change course. NASA is launching a comet campaign this winter to track it. They're calling it a test, but others are saying it's a warning. What do you think? And I'll keep you updated.
I want to believe that Three-Eye Atlas is an actual alien mothership.
I mean, the government has fully admitted aliens are real. We're not alone in the universe. And there have been public forums of former Air Force people and NASA people that fully admit they've seen aliens and alien spacecraft. So this probably is. I don't know what else to say about it. We have planetary defenses, but probably like bows and arrows versus guns and lasers.
But the way the mainstream media has been fear-mongering is the perfect setup for Project Bluebeam. I won't believe it until I get abducted.
Now, this is on a man's surveillance camera deep in Michigan. He said that he has several missing animals. His his partner, his dog, he had a bloodhound, all of a sudden became missing. And, you know, there's a website called the North American Dogman Project, for people who say they are seeing a upright mammal that looks like pretty much a werewolf. And we've covered this topic before here on Off the Grid. It goes
That
back to
dog is probably gone,
1610 with
by the way.
Catherine Cross. On her tombstone, it said about human wolves. So you got to think about all of this. So this photo right here was captured on a man's security surveillance home, on his home. You know, he
Can't
had
we
been to
just
his cabin
shift that over, or was it
since
right
he
on the
penned
edge?
this photo. So, you know, and this is a man who has an artillery of weapons. You know, he believes in the right to bear arms. And he said, you know, it's just not worth it. You know, he has a family. He said, you know, the footprints were almost size 20.
When Dogman started to be talked about more, they came out with the
Size
movie
20, so
and the book series Dogman. And so when
you're looking
Google,
at probably
that's what pops up now instead is the children's
tall.
book and the children's video. So I wonder if
Something.
that's another like Disney's Frozen kind of thing to just kind of muddy the waters if you're going to try to research too deep into it.
If this picture is real, then the dog man is actually terrifying. It looks like a human-sized labradoodle. Your only chance of survival is convincing it to come with you to Starbucks and getting it a pup cup.
I keep expecting that spider on his wall to jump out at him and freak him out, just like some of those other scare videos. What are we looking at?
When it comes to these major brands and corporations,
look, this is going to be one of those. I think you look for something long enough, you just see things, whether they're true or not. You're just seeing something. I don't think that correlates to 666. I just don't. I don't think that's it. Possibly could, but I just don't buy it on this one.
Everything you see on the packaging has been approved of by somebody, so this is very intentional. Now I understand why they say don't drink the Kool-Aid.
This has always been a tinfoil hat conspiracy.
The reason why they don't say don't drink the Kool-Aid is from Jim Jones and those guys who literally drink Kool-Aid spiked with what was it? Poison. It was a poison of some sort, and they all drank themselves to death. And I think I can't remember what the colony was called, but they had reporters, CBS reporters, on site when it was happening. And go check that story out if you haven't heard about that. That is crazy. That was crazy stuff.
Conspiracy theorist type topic. But if you look at where we're at today with the nanotech, we now know that this is conspiracy fact. There's a gentleman by the name of Dr. Ido Bachelet. In 2013, he gave a TED-Med talk. He's holding up a 1cc syringe, and he's saying, I just brought this from my lab. And then the tip of this needle are 1,000 billion robots, 2,000 times the width of a human hair. Not only does he brag about these robots being in the syringe, talks about how it's a benefit to humanity. And I would agree with him in one aspect. Technology in and itself is not good or bad. It's who is in control of the technology. He also expresses to the audience how these nanorobots basically are designed to be controlled by computer code, various languages. And he teaches his students how to control these things with an Xbox controller.
Are they electronic components? How are they being powered? How are they keeping power?
They keep power through the piezoelectric effect. Our body naturally produces a certain amount of amperage. There's a thing called graphene oxide is the main component that allows these things to self-assemble, self-replicate.
I'm sure these robots could be used for medical purposes, but I don't trust that that's all they're being used for because it sounds like DARPA Smart does.
The Naga Cave, otherwise known as the Snake Cave of Thailand, received its nickname for a good reason. Parts of the cave clearly resemble that of a structure of a giant snake. Although scientists have concluded that the cave received its appearance through thermal expansion and water erosion, others believe that it's the petrified remains of a giant snake, and others simply believe it was man-made. Do you really believe that this was a cause of water erosion?
It seems like every time our...
Well, there's a very simple way to do it. We have X-ray technology, and we have stuff that can scan deeper into rock and stuff. If it finds that there's organs and a spinal column and eyeballs, or, well, maybe the eyeballs are rotted out, but if there are things that have also calcified and become petrified that resemble those types of things, it's a giant snake. If it doesn't, it's erosion. Pretty simple.
Archaeologists discover something that contradicts the mainstream narrative, they always resort to water erosion. You can't tell me this isn't a giant Burmese python.
If you're a Swiftie, you are going to hate me for saying this.
I watch this guy's videos too. This guy is off the curb. He's a preacher. Kind of has some tragic stories as of late. Lost his daughter very tragically. He's been pretty open about it. But yeah, he does a lot of these videos. So what you're going to get here is probably some demonic witchcraft. Seeing it's Taylor Swift, I'm almost sure this is going to be something of that nature because she's really become famous for doing that in her act. So this could be end times kind of thing.
This is Taylor Swift in 2006. Sweet, country vibes, she's fun, she's safe, and all the children in the world sang along with her. This is Taylor Swift in 2008. Love story. Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. It's just a fairy tale. It's innocent, it's playful. It makes all the kids happy. This is Taylor Swift in 2012. Red, I knew you were trouble. Now we're getting into heartbreak. Now things are getting messy, a little wild, but it's still catchy, and because she had the children's hearts, they'll go along with her. This is Taylor Swift in 2014 singing that viral song Blank Space. Got a long list of lovers. They will tell you I'm insane. There's drama now, gossip, scandal, and slowly the darkness is creeping in. But the teens still love it because it's Taylor Swift after all. We trust her. This is Taylor Swift in 2017 on a Reputation album, Look What You Made Me Do. Now we have anger, revenge, shade, and even a slight witchy vibe. But you still sing along, even though she's playing with fire. This is Taylor Swift in 2020.
I knew where this was going.
Life is like a willow, bending but not breaking. We've now got magical, hypnotic vibes, and it's almost as if she's casting spells on people without them even noticing. And this is Taylor Swift in 2022. In Midnight, it's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. Again, we're getting more darker. Again, things are getting a little bit more...
And she's telling you straight to your face, hey, look, I'm doing these things. I'm the problem. It's me. So...
twisted, and yet people cannot stop listening.
Yeah.
Finally, this is Taylor Swift in 2025. The life of a showgirl. Her darkest album yet, and some of the lyrics are so bad that I would blush to even share them with you on the internet. So, over to you. Can you see what's happening here? It started sweet, it started innocent, it started dreamy, but step by step, album by album, it got darker and darker, weirder and weirder, until it even became quite witchy.
If she went from being an innocent country singer in 2006 to being emo in 2025, by 2026 she's gonna be Michelle Lemay Jr.
Whoa. That seems like a scan. That's the point you can fire back. Touch me, I touch you. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that laser is a LiDAR system used to create 3D maps. It's just suspicious that they're scanning a residential neighborhood and the plane belongs to a private owner.
Hey, we just saw this one. I have a short about it on this one. We're going to fast forward.
Husband, she need to send it to Pope Leo.
Almost 100% sure that they taught us that blood was blue inside the body until it hits oxygen and then it turns red. And I just saw...
Well, sort of. That's sort of true. Right? Our blood is designed to carry oxygen to the cells. So when it turns blue, it's dropped off that oxygen, picked up carbon dioxide, which then it's then delivered to our lungs, which then we breathe in, we pick up more oxygen, we breathe out, we get rid of the carbon dioxide. That is how that's supposed to work. Now, when your blood is in your body and you have oxygenated blood in your body, that's still red. So it's red and blue.
A video of a 6th grade teacher talking about why do her 6th graders think that blood is blue, and my first thought was, how do you as a teacher not know that blood is blue until it hits oxygen? And then I looked it up, and apparently that was never true. So now I'm wondering, because I could have sworn they taught us this in schools, like I don't even know if this is a Mandela effect or if this is just like misinformation completely, or if they are like they just lied to it. Wait, who else thinks that blood is blue? Actually, let me ask my husband. Hold on. Wait.
Well, you could see in your veins.
Babe,
It's blue, right?
when your blood is inside your body, what color is it?
Blue.
See, it's not okay. Okay, so apparently that's never been true. Like, blood has always been red. That's just a myth.
It's only red when
It hits oxygen. Thank you. Okay, so apparently that's just a myth. So I literally just
look
I
at
feel
it.
like they taught us
Look,
this in schools.
look.
My mom's also in the medical field and also taught me this. Like this is gonna what the.
I was definitely taught that blood is blue in your veins until it touches oxygen. The American education system failed me.
3 Minneapolis police officers reported observing a spherical UAP made up of 6 interlocking rings of coloured lights hovering at 10,000 feet. The object moved with both slow and hypersonic acceleration before rapidly relocating north. And this was shot through a pair of binoculars and...
Hold on, when was that? 31 and 30, okay.
This is a photo that they shot as well, which is absolutely insane. This doesn't appear on flight radar. There's no flight data on this object, and this comes as a report from Finland yesterday, seeing the same object at 35,000 feet. I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty damn biblical to me when you say 6 colourful interlocking rings. Witnessed by 3 officers, passers-by, making no noise, no flight data, with no questions or answers to what this object could have been, and look at the state of that, bruv. Again, was reported by pilots in Finland the day before at an altitude of around 35,000 feet. Biblically accurate angel confirmed, big up.
Just when I thought 2025 couldn't get any stranger, we got an alien mothership in our solar system in Ezekiel's...
Look, things are only going to get weirder. I've talked about Red Heifer's third temple, Rising of the Beast, and the Antichrist on this channel before. Things are just I don't know why I said it that way. They're just going to get weirder. That's just the long and short of it.
Over Minneapolis.
One of the biggest mysteries from the Louvre heist is why the thieves didn't steal this diamond. And I personally think it's because this is one of the most cursed objects at the Louvre, and I think the thieves knew that. This is the Regent diamond. It's a 140-carat diamond that's estimated to be about $60 million. The curse is said to have started the moment the diamond was removed from the earth. This diamond comes from India around 1700, and according to the legend, it was actually an enslaved person who removed the diamond and then was immediately in cold blood so that an English ship captain could take it. And I mean, we don't have to get technical about it, but it's kind of already a stolen object. Now for reference, the thieves made off with $102 million worth of gems, and this diamond is right next to the other ones that they stole, which kind of made investigators think that they intentionally left it behind. But what they didn't realize is this is one of the most cursed objects at the Louvre. It's said to be worn by all sorts of French royalty who met really grisly endings. It was Napoleon Bonaparte's favorite decoration for his swords, and he would go on to die in exile. It was also a favorite gem of Marie Antoinette and her husband Louis XVI, who both of them would go on to be guillotined.
If that's the case, then they're smart for leaving this diamond alone, because they probably would have got struck down by lightning before they even made it back to the getaway car.
Wait, hold up. Let me get this straight. So one of the richest men on Earth wants you to have a digital ID, and that's just the beginning. Larry Ellison, the owner of Oracle and now TikTok, not only said he wants our data centralized with an AI surveillance system, but he also said this.
Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly reporting everything.
Citizens will be on their best behavior. That
No,
sounds like a very dark dystopian future. And speaking of citizens, these people are protesting as we speak in the streets of London with signs that say no to digital ID. And why does it seem like a bigger overall plan in Europe? Because not only they're pushing a digital ID, but a CBDC as well, a central bank digital currency, in which is being pushed by this woman, the president of the Euro.
I've also talked about this on this channel. This is all related in times. You know, one world government, one world order, one world religion, one world currency, one world bank. It's all headed that way. We see it. Is it there yet? No, not yet. But next year, by the end of this year, heck, who knows?
European Central Bank Christine Lagarde.
Put to reality this digital euro. The deadline for us is going to be October of 25, and we all get...
This is why education is key, you guys. Here's a trick bag. So they don't want you buying Bitcoin and other decentralized protocols, but they want you to buy their crypto, a CBDC, controlled by them and only them. And if you guys don't think this can happen, well, it's already happening in China right now with digital IDs and a social credit score.
A couple days ago, my uncle and my cousin helped me get a cell phone that was linked to a Chinese bank card so that I could buy anything.
And if that's not bad enough, they
even... What did she say?
A couple days ago, my uncle and my cousin helped me get a cell phone that was linked to a Chinese bank card so that I could buy anything.
And if that's not bad enough, they even have facial recognition.
So why is this bad? Well, if they have everything tied together, linked together, like she just said, they had to help her get a cell phone tied to her bank and the currency that China has. If China does not like anything you do or say, they just remove that. So you can have that cell phone, but you have no access to your cash. You won't be able to buy or sell anything. That's revelations.
Recognition technology for kids to get inside their own schools. And I'll say it once and I'll say it again. They always put it in the movies. Remember that episode on Black Mirror years ago where they had a social credit score system? Well, surprise, surprise. It's here.
They could try to force this system on us as much as they want, but it only works with our participation.
At what point is this no longer a coincidence? We have Men in Black from 1997. And in this corner over here, you have a plane flying. If you zoom in, there's a plane flying across the screen. Then the screen changes to the Twin Towers. And then the scene changes once again to a plume of dust and debris and smoke. Is that a coincidence? Ask yourself the question. Now, if that's not enough for you, in the movie The Patriot, the first words that were uttered in that movie was 9 pounds, 11 ounces, perfect. That's Mel Gibson's opening dialogue, and that came out a year before 9/11. In Back to the Future, after the clock tower gets detonated, explodes, etc., we have a 9 and an 11 leading up to the tower. And that's not to mention also what happened in the Twin Pine Mall park.
Look, again, you're reaching here. I don't think that these are things hidden in plain sight. I think it's a coincidence. I do not think. I think he's looking for things and he's finding what he's looking for. I just don't believe it.
Lot in the other Back to the Future. The Simpsons also has all kinds of symbology.
The Simpsons is unique. I will say that. They have predicted real-world things for a long time. Now, Trump's presidency, I don't think that was a big stretch. Trump wanted to run for president since like the early 80s, maybe even the 70s. And he didn't really make any bones about it. I mean, he was interviewed plenty of times saying, yeah, I would love to run and become president of the United States. And he's even on record once in like the 80s saying, well, if I couldn't run as a Democrat, none of you all would vote for me. You guys are just too smart for that. I'd have to run as a Republican. And then he did and ran as a Republican. So the Simpsons could have easily seen any and all of that, knowing his aspirations, and put it in their show. That one, to me, isn't that big of a stretch. Just watching things and events unfolding and the desires of men and then putting that into your cartoon. I wonder how many things they have put into their cartoons that haven't come true. That's really the question. If they have something in their cartoons that hasn't come true, that's something completely different and actually should probably discount a lot of the stuff that has come true.
Around 9/11 as well. But I'm sure this is just nothing.
It's hard for me to believe that this is all just a coincidence when there are so many examples of predictive programming. The people who run this world are just sticking to the script.
So in honor of spooky season, I have one picture that I got from a coworker years ago that is the greatest example of a ghost in a picture that I've ever seen. And the reason that I don't doubt its authenticity is because it is a live photo, and I'll show you. how I'll do the live photo so you can see the ghost kind of swooping in. You ready for it? Okay, so this is the hiking picture. The girl didn't see anything on the hike, but I'll zoom in here and you will see her in a second. Boom. There she is. Look how pretty she is. Her sunken eyes and her smile. There's the live photo. I'll get a better angle there. I'll do it again. You can see her swooping. And then from farther away, you can just see right by her head. You can just see her swooping in. It's pretty spooky, man. I mean, it's hard to say that this isn't a real thing.
If I was hiking and this thing,
I don't know. A live photo, I think that is digitally altered. I think that a live photo, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it is a video that then they cut out part of it for the live picture, or if it works the other way. It's a still photo that then the computer enhances to make a short video out of. If it's the second, then it's, I mean, I could see how the computer would have done that, because it would have seen that image and made it happen. It's weird that it chose to fade it in like that. So to me, this feels more like the video that was created and then a still shot was taken, and that's the photo. So I'm not sure which way that goes. Let me know in the comments if you know.
Popped up on me like a reptilian Jack in the Box, I would start swinging from the trees like Tarzan to get back to the car.
Some film producers, like the producers who make the film Star Wars, often show creatures in their films which actually exist, which even the most uneducated of Africans who knows this Chitauli can identify. For example, in the new Star Wars film, what is it called? Star Wars or something like that. There is a creature who amazes me called Darth Maul. Darth Maul is a red and black being with a ring of small horns right round his head. That is exactly what the Chitauli look like. Some have got ordinary heads without any horn on their heads. These are the lesser Chitauli. But the royal Chitauli have got a ring of sharp horns all around their heads. And the very high Chitauli, like their king, Mubaba from Mahongo, they have got very long horns which grow this way. Not that way like a horse, but this way like certain antelopes. Now, I just wonder, where these film producers get their information.
I don't know where they get their information, but I do believe that they put a lot of truth in movies, so I wouldn't be surprised if the real-life Darth Maul was actually King Charles.
Did you all see this video? So, former governor of Nuevo León in Mexico, Jaime Rodriguez Calderón, recently posted...
I don't really have a lot to say about that last video. There's no video footage, there's nothing. There's just this guy describing Darth Maul and saying he's a real person. I've never seen a person that looks like Darth Maul, other than the actor who portrays him, obviously. Not to say that they aren't real. I mean, again, I admitted earlier in this video that the U.S. government has admitted that aliens are real, so he could just be an alien of some sort.
To social media, his Facebook page, the other day, showing this compilation of videos, allegedly from security footage from around his property, showing these strange orbs of light that show up on a fairly regular basis. And these clips are really interesting. There are these lights hovering up and down.
Is this the Skywalker Ranch?
Sides, or just over the ground, going apparently into the ground as well. Sometimes there's multiple in the same shot, and there's also one here that seems to kind of crash and explode. And I feel like not enough people are talking about this, but from what I've seen, a lot of people in comment sections are calling these things witches or brujas. Others think they are just plain old UFOs or some kind of atmospheric phenomenon.
I'm thinking ball lightning.
Tech, something interdimensional, or maybe they're just drones, or the whole thing is just a hoax. The jury is out on this still. And if you didn't know,
drones is actually the most likely because of the one that crashed and smoked, and you know, I could see that being high-end battery, and we all know that those batteries that are holding that charge, they use that compression to really tighten the material inside the battery so that it does something. I think it holds the electricity in more of a compressed space so that it can discharge longer over time. I think that's how it works. Or you can think about it in that way. I don't know if it actually works like that from protons and the electrons being used. But seeing it crash and smoke up like that, I could see the battery being punctured and kind of being set alight and causing all that smoke and fire from the crash. So that drone, it does make me think these are drones.
This kind of phenomenon, sometimes called ghost lights, has been reported all over the world for centuries. Some of the most notable ones being the Marfa lights in Texas, the Brown Mountain lights in North Carolina, the Hestalen lights in Norway. You've also got the Hornet Spook light in Missouri, the Naga fireballs in Thailand, the Min Min light in Australia, or the Longdendale lights in the UK, among many others.
In my opinion, it kind of looks like a plasma being, but the only thing that makes me question if this is real or not is the fact that it was posted by a politician. I feel like these days this could either be AI or actual footage of Planet Nibiru.
All right, the health insurance industry is an absolute sham. I don't know how I'm paying $1,500 a month for health insurance, but every single person in my policy has a $6,000 copay, which means I've been going to the doctor all year. I thought my copays went towards our premiums and the amount that we had to pay to get coverage. However, it doesn't. You know, my wife just had a serious event. She had to go to the hospital. She had to have life-saving surgery. And we got a bill in the mail from the hospital for over $3,000 for this procedure. And I'm thinking back, like, I'm paying $1,500 a month for this health insurance. I've personally paid thousands of dollars over the course of this year in copays for myself and stuff that I had to go to the doctors for. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, I'm going to spend $1,500 a month for the next 12 months. What is that? Like 18 grand. And then I have to spend $6,000 a person just to get them to cover things. So you're looking at, we have 5 people in our family. If all of us have to go to the hospital, that's $30,000 in copays that we have to pay on top of the 18.
That should not be how that works, by the way. That $6,000 should not be, and it didn't used to be, maybe it is now, for each individual person. That shouldn't be. When you do a family plan, usually it's everyone underneath the umbrella of one plan. So if one person goes in and let's say it costs them $5,000 for that hospital visit, well, until you hit that $6,000 limit, that's it. So you're paying that first $5,000, but say that was your wife, but then your daughter or your son breaks his leg or whatever, goes in, and now you have another $4,000 payment. Well, insurance is supposed to take care of everything past that next $1,000. So you hit your $6,000. That should be for everybody, not each individual person. If they changed it, I don't even know why anybody has insurance at this point. I would just pay, I think it's like $2,000 in penalties to the U.S. government if you don't have insurance. I would just pay that. I mean, you're paying that per month anyway, almost $1,500, and then just negotiate with the hospital and stuff. if you don't have insurance, it's so much cheaper. So much. I mean, it's amazingly cheap. Before all of this happened, a long time ago, probably 15 years ago-ish. Trying to think about how long ago. Probably about 15 years ago. This was before the ACA or any of that stuff. I didn't have insurance, and I got sick, and I went to the doctor. And I was like, hey, I don't have insurance, but, you know, I have a fever and I'm sick and I need to be seen to see if I need antibiotics or what we need to do, blah, blah, blah. They're like, yeah. You got $20 cash? I'm like, yes, I got $20 in my wallet right now. They're like, just give us $20 and we'll get you in. And boom, saw a real medical doctor, paid $20 for the visit. That was it. I'm telling you, I don't know why I don't know. If you're doing it through your work, that's a little different. I mean, it does come out of your paycheck. So you technically are still paying that. Just saying.
$1,000 in monthly charges to actually get coverage. As a father of 3, I'm strongly considering canceling our health insurance policy, which feels very irresponsible and wrong, but I can't remember the last time I spent over $48,000 in a year in health costs between copays and health insurance and all of this stuff. If I just pay cash, I'm never going to pay anywhere near that amount. For instance, the surgery my wife just had, if we paid cash on that surgery and we didn't have insurance, it would have ran us about $1,200. But because we had insurance and the insurance wasn't going to cover it, we have to pay what the insurance was going to pay, which is over $3,000. Are other families seeing the same thing? Maybe I'm just being unreasonable and crashing out here.
He's not. He's not being unreasonable.
When you actually think about it, health insurance is pretty much a legal scam. You can pay your monthly premiums every month on time, but unless you also pay your full copay amount, if the doctor even puts a Band-Aid on you, they're going to charge you $10,000 for it.
Oh, bad news.
It's going up in your car. Going up in your car. It's going in my car? Yeah. Wait, stop.
If this was me, my car would still be parked in this drive-thru because I'm getting out and running.
And I was walking the coastline. And
what kind of snake is that? If it had a rattle on there or something that was poisonous, yeah, you dang right I'd be out of there. But a lot of snakes are not poisonous. They might be painful when they bite you, but they won't kill you, or the flesh won't rot off of you. I don't know. I don't know what I would do in that situation. Probably see if I could park somewhere after ordering and pick up my food, and then park somewhere and see if I could get it out of there.
And this Japanese man walks up to me, very elderly, walking the coastline. He says, "You from America?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I've been to America." I said, "You have? When did you go to America?" He says, 1944. I said, "Oh, that's a long time ago." He said, "Yeah." He said, "I went Grand Canyon." I said, "What were you doing at Grand Canyon?" He says, "During war." He says, 600 Japanese brought to America to tunnel through Grand Canyon. Dynamite. He says, "We were blowing up Grand Canyon." I said, "Well, what was the purpose? What were you mining for?" He says, "Not mining." He says, "Looking." I said, "Well," the interpreter said, "Explain." And he says, "Looking for big giants." Looking for giants. And he got really quiet, and he got really quiet. And he said, I not tell all these years, not tell. He says, family, I tell, promise not tell. And I told the interpreter, I says, tell him he's safe, that he does need to tell. He says, you know about giants? I said, yes, I know about Nephilim, yes. He says, you do? And I said, yes. He says, ah. And he got really quiet. And he talked to my interpreter, and then he said, tell American. I go Grand Canyon. He says, enter into big mine, big doors, 20 feet high, big solid doors. He says, we blew the doors open. This is coming from the interpreter now. Blew the doors open. and out come big giants. We flee for our life. He says, some not get away, and some not get away. Some. I asked my interpreter, what did they do at that point? He says, brought in big helicopters, take us out, but put us in confinement for days and days and days and days. And they weren't going to let us out because we might tell. But finally, the interpreters told me that they finally, after days and days and days of them being in confinement, they finally let the few that were left go back to Japan. And he did not tell all those years. And that was in 2012. He had not told anybody about the giants that they found. And they were alive, and they were vicious.
If this story is true, it makes a lot of sense now why so many areas of the Grand Canyon are off limits to the public. It's pretty much...
I don't disagree with some of that. And the Nephilim, or the Nephilim, might still be around. I'm not saying that they're not. It's weird that they kind of just disappeared out of nowhere. But also, like, there's rumors that there's these underground tunnels that, I mean, basically there's an underground tunnel network that spans the entire globe. It goes it's underneath the oceans and, like, just everywhere. And also part of that, we saw in the last video, the pneumatic tubes, those are part of that system as well. So the high-speed travel is there. But it's weird that, like, at some point the Nephilim just aren't mentioned anymore, but it doesn't say what happened to them in the Bible or any other documentation. It seems like they kind of disappeared and faded out. But then you have sightings every once in a while of, like, Bigfoot and those types of things, and yet there's no evidence of them. Not really. So I once saw a shirt that said, World Hide and Seek Champion since, like, 1784, whenever the first one was cited. Uh-oh, getting to the end of that. Gonna need some more water. All right. Let's watch the end of this. I'll make up another batch of water, hit the restroom, come back, and we'll hit some Hollow Knight.
It's a Nephilim Supermax.
Oh. Dude, where is that? I wonder where that is. I mean, you kinda...
I don't know how they managed to turn this apartment into a hockey rink. I just know they better not let the landlord see this, or they never getting that security deposit.
See, the problem is, I mean, you kind of have to chip it away and get it out of there before it melts. Because once it melts, I mean, there's probably already a bunch of water damage. But you can, like, since it got solid so quick, there is opportunity there to kind of chip it away and get it out of there before it melts and becomes water. And you can preserve a lot of that stuff from getting even more damage. There might be some minor damage, but to prevent major damage, you're going to really have to do some work.
But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to...
And that is the video for me as well. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all of those things. And we'll be right back with some Hollow Knight right after these messages. No, I'm just kidding. There's no commercials. So, thank you guys again for watching and all those things. And I'll be back here in 5 or 10 minutes and we'll do some Hollow Knight. Until then,